biggest classroom.
Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion on the topic, the do's and don'ts of appreciating our children. During the break, we were getting our responses again, and exceedingly, we have, I think, 17 responses, and 15 of them say that they give more negative strokes, which is confirming our hypothesis and research. So I think you guys will stop doing that. Continue to give strokes every single day to everyone around you, and give more positive strokes. Meaningful positive strokes. Now we'll continue our discussion here. I think Aman has a few questions for us.
Yeah, while I was discussing with my friends, about 3 questions I believe had popped up, if I may.
Sure.
Number 1 would be, some parents would say that appreciating a child too much will all get into the child's head. They'll get overconfident and so on. So what's your say on this?
Well, I think that's a concept a lot of old timers have. Oops, do not appreciate your child. He's going to become overconfident. He's going to become success is going to get into his head, and he's going to become arrogant. Well, psychologically, what research says is that if you appreciate a child, if you give positive strokes, it can turn out negative if you are appreciating in a particular way. So even positive feedback or appreciation must be done appropriately. Now let me explain to you. Now suppose your child takes part in a competition, and your child has performed very well and he has come home with a prize. There are 2 ways in which you can appreciate him. You can say, "Oh, you're the best, oh my God, you're so talented, you're my son, it's in your blood, and you can always do it." Okay, now this is a very wrong way of appreciating, because you're directly attributing the success to the child, to the child's talent, and to the child's intelligence. Or after an exam you say, "Oh, you're very intelligent." Now psychologically, this creates what is called as a fixed mindset in children. What do I mean by fixed mindset? When I tell you you are intelligent or you're talented, the conviction that you get inside is that intelligence is fixed. Your intelligence is something that you're born with, or talent is something that you're born with. You either have it or you don't have it. Now some of you must be wondering, so what's wrong with that? Well, what is wrong is that when this child is being brought up with a growth mindset, that you're intelligent, is given challenging problems, is given more taxing problems, he refrains from doing it. We have found it in many cases. You know why? Oh my God, it's a tough one if I do it and if I don't get it. Or if it's a tough competition, national level, if I do it and if I don't get it, then people will think I'm not intelligent. Yeah. People will think I'm not talented. So these guys stop performing after a particular level. They become, they bloom, and after a while they stop. So it's extremely detrimental to the growth of our children to appreciate them by saying you're smart, you're intelligent, you're talented. So what is the right way of appreciating people? We say you should not create a fixed mindset, you should create a growth mindset. So what's the right way? Well, your child comes back after winning, you come back and you tell him, "Hey, great effort. You've done a great effort, you've practiced well, you've performed well, and that's the reason you've won." So you appreciate people for the effort. Your child gets an A+ in the examinations. Instead of saying, "You're my boy, you're intelligent," you say, "Great effort." So when you keep giving feedback to children by saying great effort, great effort, great effort, never "you're the best," never "you're intelligent," great effort, they develop what is called as a growth mindset, where they think, "Oh, with effort you can succeed. With effort you can succeed." Effort is something that you can do. It's not fixed like intelligence. So what happens is when they're given more complicated problems, more challenges, more mountains to climb, then they feel, it's about effort. So if I put more effort, if I spend more time, if I put my mind into it, I'll be able to do that. So we have found that these kids perform much better as they get ahead in life. So we should never give feedback saying you're intelligent. You should always give feedback saying, good effort. That was a good try. You've put in a good effort. We have a short video for you which clearly explains the psychological theory behind the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. It's a 3 minutes video. Please take a look at this video and we'll come back and discuss a bit more about it.
We took 5th graders. We give them puzzles to solve.
So you see these blocks? Can you tell me what color is on that side?
Red, yellow,
white, blue.
All right, so what I want you to do is put these blocks together so that the picture on top matches the picture here, all right?
First, we give children a set of easier puzzles to do.
Now here's the next one.
When these 9 and 10-year-olds successfully put together the puzzle, the children are praised for either their intelligence
Wow, you did really well. You must be really smart at these.
or the effort they made.
Wow, you did really well. You must have tried really hard at these.
Then we give them a much harder set of problems, ones that they might in fact struggle with. We also ask them, well, which problems do you want to work on some more? Those easier ones or those harder ones? And generally we find that the kids who have been praised for their intelligence really want to go back to those easier ones that were their claim to fame.
This is a sign of a fixed mindset, the belief that intelligence is innate and can't be changed. Other children show a growth mindset.
The growth mindset is like this. No matter who you are, you can always become a great deal smarter. They feel smart when they're working really hard on something difficult and making progress.
So if I gave you some more problems, would you like more problems like these that are pretty easy so you'll do well, or problems like these that'll be hard but you might learn a lot from them?
These.
More like these?
Students praised for effort generally want those hard ones that they can learn from.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that short video on the concept of growth versus the fixed mindset. As explained in the video, well, if people ask, let me go back to Aman's question, if you appreciate people, will success go to their head and will they become overconfident? Well, I can assure you, as a psychologist who worked with a lot of students, I can assure you that positive feedback will never ever come back to haunt us. It's a lack of positive feedback that actually makes children aggressive and gets them into inappropriate behavior. But you have to be careful with the positive feedback that you give them. Never go and tell them again, let me repeat the phrases again, that you are smart and you're intelligent kind of feedback. Always link it to effort. So that will make sure that success never goes to their head, because they'll understand that, oh, with effort anybody else can do it. It's not a privilege that I have. It's not because I'm born into a particular family or I've inherited a set of traits. Today I've taken effort and I've won. Tomorrow someone else does it and that person can win. It's a level playing field. So success will never go into their head, and you can always get them to put in more effort when they're faced with bigger challenges. Yeah. So I hope you internalize this and stop giving them feedback in that particular manner. Now, Aman, I understand you have some more questions for us?
Yeah, my second question would be, if we do something good, if we win a competition, if we take a nice photograph, and we, while presenting it to others, we may ask them, how was it? Do you like this angle? I took it like this, I took it like that. The parents then, they quickly come and say, no. Don't appreciate yourself, that's the job of the others. Okay, so what do you think about that?
Oh, I understand the scenario. It's about, when a child does something good and says, hey, it's a nice painting, I spend a lot of time. Some parents say, guys, come on, you cannot appreciate your own work. Now this is again from the old school, which we oldies sometimes have, and it's not appropriate. There are two things. One is about self-stroking. We call it self-stroking. Is it appropriate for someone to say, like, for example, a guy to say, oh, I'm handsome, or I've done a good job, or oh, it's come out well about some work that he has done himself. Well, it's absolutely okay to do it. In fact, it's a very healthy psychological practice to do some self-stroking. We at the beginning of the show, we said that strokes are absolutely important. Strokes are necessary. You need strokes to grow, and you need strokes to feel I'm okay.
Exactly.
Now, why should you feel okay? Well, you don't want our kids to be diffident. We don't want our kids to be submissive and passive and feeling that I'm not okay. The world is is much better than me. I can be up to no good. So if they don't get the strokes they want, to answer your question, it's absolutely okay for someone to stroke himself. Now, I've explained this before. I do this, when I do a training, I train for 2 days. I spend a lot of energy. I give them whatever I have. Sometimes people just get up and go. Yeah, and you feel bad, because you're expecting to hear some strokes from Sangeet, good job, you've done a great job, even some constructive feedback. But when they go without strokes, I sit back and say, Sangeet, good job, yeah, good job. And then I look at the positive aspects of what I've done. So it's extremely important. The point is, strokes are required. And if you don't get strokes from outside, you definitely have to ask, you definitely can stroke yourself. Another aspect is it okay to ask for strokes? Suppose we have done this program, you've done this program today, right? Is it okay to go to your friends and say, how did I perform? Did I do a good job? Did you like me? Did you like my outfit? Did you like my points? Even that is a very healthy practice, okay? So there are two things. If you're not getting the strokes, you should ask for these strokes, and let's say even after asking you don't get it, it's perfectly healthy to stroke yourself.
So I've got something to look forward to tomorrow.
Definitely, definitely. And I'm sure you've got good friends and good teachers. I'm sure they'll watch it and they'll stroke you. But if you don't get it,
stroke myself.
Exactly, stroke. You ask for it first, and then you stroke yourself. I would like our parents to respond to this question. We have put the link up there. It's paulev.com/SIBA. So we have asked you the question, is it fine to appreciate yourself? Appreciating oneself is fine, and appreciating oneself is not fine are the two responses given. So we would appreciate if you can give us your feedback on this question. Now, what parents will have to understand is that we badly require strokes, and if you don't give strokes to our kids, especially teenagers, they might start looking for strokes elsewhere. They might start looking for strokes from their own peers. And at that particular age, when your brains are all haywire, your synapses are, we call it synaptic pruning, your neocortex is being developed, so you cannot think logically. That's why teenagers take risks. That's why teenagers get into a lot of risky business. They might seek strokes outside the family, and they might jump into hot water. They might get into unhealthy relationships. They might develop bad habits to get strokes from their peers. So it's extremely important that we give them strokes. I would like to spend the next couple of minutes to talk about behavior change. Okay. Now, Aman, I was explaining to you. When I asked you the question, you said no strokes was more painful than negative strokes, right?
Exactly.
This is what you said.
Yeah.
Because you feel you burn inside if you don't get strokes.
Exactly.
Now, this can be used, parents, as an effective strategy to get behaviors to change. Okay, let's talk about a situation. Now, your child is coming home from school, and you have told your child that the shoes must be kept into the shoe rack, and the bag must be kept in its proper place. Okay. Now the child is coming, and the bag goes to the right, and the shoe goes to the left, and the child is making merry. What would you usually do? The parents would first guide the child, please do it there, or might reprimand the child, go back and keep it there, don't you know this is the right place to do it, might shout at you, might even physically abuse you. Now, please understand that in both these cases, guiding them or reprimanding them, they are getting strokes. It could be positive or negative. You're not actually inflicting pain on them because you're giving them strokes. And we also, let me just briefly bring that in. What we psychologists say is a behavior that gets stroked develops. It could be a positive stroke or negative stroke. So each time you're telling your child, go keep it there, go keep it there, or each time you're pinching him or giving him a small whack or abusing him, actually you're reinforcing that behavior because that behavior is getting stroked. What does the young one want? He wants to get stroked. When he gets stroked, he feels he's okay, positive and negative. Yeah. So this is a strategy, you know. So he's deliberately doing it so that he gets stroked. So what should you do? Well, you try all the strategies in your book, all the recipes in your repertoire, and if it is not working, the strategy is to get into the no stroke model. Okay. So what do? Well, the guy comes and does this. You neglect it completely. I know it's painful, you neglect it. Well, the shoe will lie there, the bag will lie there for some time. If some guests come, the whole house might look shoddy, but you will have to put up. Behavior change is never easy. And you neglect him. Don't talk to him. Okay, the tea could be on the table, the food could be on the table. Don't listen to him. When he comes and speaks to him, you know, push him off. Do not listen to him. Let's say you're going out in the evening, don't take him along. You're having fun with the whole family playing Uno cards. Don't include him. Give him the no strokes cold shoulder. Okay, so the guy is smart. He'll understand, oh, why is my parent doing this to me, and automatically he'll know, oh, this is the reason. So he's going to go and keep the shoe back. Okay, now once he keeps the shoe back, once you see positive behavior, immediately go and stroke him. Immediately go and stroke him. Say that, good job. Don't say, you should have done it earlier. Now that's negative stroke and he's getting what he wants. You should have done it earlier. You know, this is not the right way to do it. Immediately go hug him, thank him. You know, I hope the youngsters are not watching this program. Immediately appreciate them. So psychologically, if this happens over a period of time, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, psychologically the brain will start associating, oh, if I do this, I'm going to get cold shoulder, no strokes, which is painful. On the other hand, if I do this, I'm immediately going to get strokes. And this is the only way where you can bring behavior change in a person. Well, if you don't trust what I'm saying, you can ask this question to your kids and they'll exactly say what Aman and his friends said. No strokes is more painful. So use that pain to your advantage. Use that pain to get them to change their negative behaviors to positive. The question we asked the audience is it fine to appreciate yourself? And there are 4 respondents and all 4 have said appreciating oneself is fine. Were you biased by our cute lecture here, or did you have this paradigm in the first place? But we are so happy that you have agreed with us. Yes, it is absolutely fine to appreciate oneself. And it's absolutely fine to ask for appreciation as well. Yeah. Now, Aman, you had another question for us?
I have one last question. That would be about a third of my friends, whenever they do something well, exceptionally well, if they win a competition, if they get good marks in the exams, if they exceed the parents' expectations, they get gifts, be it toys, games, clothes, and so on. But almost a majority, about 2/3 of my friends do not. So what's your take on this, sir?
Your question is about gifts.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I would like to shift the question a bit.
Okay.
Is it okay to give gifts to your children? Now, giving gifts is a kind of positive stroke.
Yeah.
Right. And we agree that positive strokes are good. Positive strokes are definitely good. It helps you grow. It helps you feel that you're okay. But the question is not that. The question is, so if I've answered your question, yes, it's good to give gifts. The question is, should you promise gifts to your children? Okay. Let's say you have an exam coming up and you have to learn. And suppose I come and tell you, a lot of parents do that. I'm sure you'll agree with me. A lot of parents say that, if you do well in your examination, I'm going to give you this. Yeah, I'm sure your friends would talk about scenarios like that. If you win the first prize, I'm going to give you this. Now, is this good? Is this an effective practice, or is it detrimental? Okay. So before I answer, I've got the question out to you. I would request you to go to the website again. It's right now shown in the ticker on the screen. It's paulev.com/SIBA. Okay. And the question that we have is, do you promise gifts to your children if they perform well? paulev.com/SIBA. Do you promise gifts to your children if they perform well? That's the question. We need your response right away. Okay. So the point is, should we promise? Now, my take and what all psychologists say is no. You should never ever promise gifts to your kids. Now, if the kid does well in the examination and scores well, who is benefiting?
First.
It's you, definitely. Of course, the parents do benefit as well, but ultimately the benefit is with you, right? You learn, you understand, you feel good, okay, and you have crossed a milestone. If you win a competition and get a prize, who's benefiting?
Us.
Yeah. So then why should we, oh, the responses have started to come in, why should we bribe you? In a way, this is bribing, right? By bribing, we mean give money to somebody to do something that the person should do. He should be doing it in the first place. So we should never bribe our children to do something. The responses are coming in. I've got 3 responses, and all of them are saying, yes, we promise our children gifts. And I'm actually speaking against it. So please don't do it. Okay? Psychologically, I'll talk about, we'll have just time for that, about some wonderful experiments that have been done in this particular area. There are people who love painting, okay, and let's say you love photography, right?
Yeah.
Now you like to spend time with your SLR, and you spend a lot of time taking pictures and working on Photoshop. What they did is they started paying money, okay, to these people who were doing things for love. There are artists who used to spend a lot of time painting or taking photographs. They started giving them money to take photographs or to paint. Can you relate with the scenario? What they found is that when they were paid, the output, the paintings or the photographs, ended up not being as good as the ones they came up with when they were doing it out of love.
Yeah.
So when you naturally love doing something, we call it internal motivation, you're doing it because you love it. When someone offers you a bribe to do it, automatically you start loving the job less, because now you've introduced an alien element, which is money, and you're doing it for the sake of money. So if you loved painting on a scale of 1 to 10, if you loved it 8 out of 10, once you start getting money for it, your love for it will reduce. Okay, so this is what has been proven psychologically. So the point is, never ever bribe your children. Okay, never go to them and say, hey, you've got a competition, I will take you to this place, or I'll buy you this if you win. 2 reasons. It's for their own benefit, so you don't have to pay them anything. Okay. Number 2, they will stop loving the process. The feeling that they get when they win, oh, I've done it, I've defeated all my opponents against tremendous odds, and I'm standing here, lights flashing on my face, the certificate, the appreciation that they get, the pride that they have, the feeling deep inside that they're good. They'll stop loving that because you've introduced the alien element. So does that mean I'm advocating that no gifts should be given? No, gifts can be given, but don't make it a regular practice. Let's say your child wins once, don't promise him a gift, get him a gift. And the child definitely feels, whoa, I'm being appreciated. It's a kind of positive stroke. Second time, maybe don't give him a gift. Third time, give him a gift. 4th time, 5th time, don't give him. So in a way, you should not make it conditional. Okay? Let the guy think, okay, even with or without the gift, my performance has been good and my achievement is worthwhile. And they tend to attach importance to that. So these are some of the main points that we had, Aman. I hope you benefited from the discussion. So you can, of course, your friends will be watching the show. Yeah. You can also you can also ask them to make sure that their parents watch the show. And these are some of the key takeaways that I have for you, my dear parents. We love our kids, and the other day, Aman, I was doing a program at a labor camp. Okay, we do a lot of free programs at labor camps, and I had asked the people there, the laborers there, to talk about their dreams, and almost 95% of them said, well, our dreams are about our children, we don't have any other dreams. And one father, he was a young father, he said, sir, I've written a letter to my son, and the letter says, this is what the letter says, for a train to move ahead, some fuel must burn inside the engine. So he has written to his child, you're my train and I'm the fuel. I'm burning here, but I'm burning because I want you, my train, to get ahead. Okay, so for us parents, all our dreams are built around our children, but inadvertently we might do some things which hurt our children in the long run. One is giving them negative feedback which is personal. So we should stop giving feedback saying you're bad. It's never bad. It's the behavior that you must stop. what you've done is wrong. You've come late. It's not because you're careless. Stop criticizing them by saying you are careless, or you don't care, or you will never succeed. Identify the behavior that is wrong and criticize the behavior. Okay, that's number one. Make sure that your positive strokes are much more than the negative strokes. Definitely, at least in the ratio of 3:1. Currently it's 9:1. And when you're giving positive strokes, do it with the same emotional intensity. Don't say good job and pathetic job. Say good job with the same level of emotional intensity. And when you're giving positive strokes, don't say you're smart, you're intelligent. Always appreciate effort. Now, before we sign off, we have created a small summary video which puts together the key points that we have discussed. So that will be a quick review for you. Dear parents, hope you've enjoyed the program today. We would love to hear your feedback. We'll of course upload the video on the NTV site and on my website as well, Destination Success UAE. You can definitely connect with me on Facebook, Sangeet Ibrahim, and give us your valuable insights and your suggestions, your questions that you may have. And please do watch the video, share it as well, and make sure maximum number of people benefit from this. Aman, thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you and your school, and Mr. Srivalsan Murugan, your principal in particular, for supporting us all the way. And thanks to all your friends for those valuable insights. And this is me, Dr. Sangeet Ibrahim, with Chanchal and Lakshmi in the studio, signing off. Hope you had a wonderful experience of learning and fun today. Watch this short video before we log off. Thank you.